Barbie, you're beautiful. All the ladies come so fresh and new. Barbie loves the styles that fashion ever knew.
Even with her new name, new clothes, new skin, the Barbie that finally appeared in 1958 looked an awful lot like that doll from Germany.
Barbie is not that innocent. The children's doll is actually based on a German doll called Bild Lilli, a sassy, classy, gold-digging escort girl who seduces men. Before turning into a doll, Lilli was a comic strip character created in 1952 by an artist named Reinhard Buthian. The comic strip was featured in a Hamburg-based tabloid called Bild Zeitung. Lilli's popularity grew so much that on August 12, 1955, a three-dimensional doll of Lilli was sold in smoke shops and bars as an adult gag gift. In 1956, the co-founder of Mattel, Ruth Handler, was on a family vacation in Switzerland when she saw the Lilli doll for the first time. She bought the doll, redesigned her, and 3 years later on March 5, 1959, Barbie was introduced to the world to massive success. Mattel, however, has a more family-friendly version of the Origin of Barbie. Officially, Handler was inspired to create the doll after seeing her daughter play with cut-out paper fashion dolls. While this actually did happen, Barbie nevertheless was based on Lilli, and Lilli proved to Ruth that something like Barbie could be a reality and a success.
And you can see the similarities.
Yeah, let's take a look. Well, they do have the same shaped face, kind of.
Same pouty lips, same arched eyebrows with a heavy mascara, same flirty glance.
And the boobs.
And the boobs.
And the boobs as Barbie.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
They didn't quite ever get away from the original model.
However, the rise of Barbie will lead to the downfall of Lilli and its creator. A German toy maker named Ralph Hauser was the one that created the Lilli doll, but after Mattel did some sketchy negotiations with Hauser to buy the full rights to Lilli, Hauser regretfully ended up selling the copyright and patent rights for the doll, which caused his toy company to go bankrupt and shut down. In an interview with Anne Barraclough, Hauser lamented, quote, "If I had never made Lilli, there would never be a Barbie doll, and I would still be the head of one of Germany's top toy companies. Instead, everything my father suffered so much to build up has gone, and I am nothing." Ever since Barbie's creation, the doll has been lambasted for perpetuating gender-based stereotypes and unrealistic body standards.
Mattel's Barbie doll has often been criticized for giving young girls an unrealistic standard of beauty.
Some are saying Barbie is sending a bad message to young girls about body image. It's that age-old argument, is Barbie a bad influence?
Barbie, a little girl's toy on the front cover, only serves to further sexualization of girls, further the objectification of women by using a plastic doll.
Someone had said to me, well, you could get rid of all your A's and not be smart, but you could look like Barbie. I think I wouldn't have hesitated for 1 second to say, okay.
Barbie's part of a cultural picture that's designed to encourage girls and women to dislike their bodies.
I want my legs to be like hers, because my legs are not like hers. My legs are big and fat. Like if I was wearing a bathing suit, it would look like two big elephants.
Thank you, Barbie. Thank you for a lifetime of eating disorders and a bad body image. Thanks a lot.
It's also been accused of promoting other things like racism, ableism, and even CP. Here are the most controversial Barbie dolls of all time. Slumber Party Barbie. In 1965, Slumber Party Barbie was released that came with everything that a girl needs for a slumber party. A pink robe, satin pajamas, a blue comb, and a scale permanently set to 110 pounds. And in case you needed tips on how to get to that ideal weight, the playset came with a diet book that had just one instruction: don't eat. A year later, the scale was removed, but still contained the diet book. Growing Up Skipper. Barbie's little sister Skipper was introduced in 1964, and 10 years later, the Growing Up Skipper doll was released, in which Skipper grew up, literally. By cranking her arm, Skipper not only grew taller, but she grew larger breasts. Midge. In response to criticism that Barbie was too much of a sex symbol, Mattel made Midge, Barbie's best friend who was more conservative. She was a safe bet, but in 2003, that all changed when Mattel made Midge pregnant. She had a magnetic detachable belly that contained a curled-up baby inside. What's more, she looked too young, didn't have a wedding ring, and was shipped without a husband. Naturally, this upset parents since they thought it promoted teen pregnancy. Walmart ended up pulling the doll from store shelves, and in response, Mattel made a new version for Walmart that removed the pregnant belly and included a cardboard cutout of a husband for Midge on the box. If you like this video so far, be sure to subscribe, like, and click the bell icon for notifications. Barbie doll and Tanner. In 2006, a playset was released that included a Barbie doll and a dog named Tanner. The set also included dog food that Tanner could eat and then poop out. Kids could then use a pooper scooper accessory to pick up the scat. However, the magnet that was attached to the bottom of the pooper scooper could fall off and was a choking hazard. The playset was subsequently recalled, and it was reported that 3 children swallowed multiple magnets, which required surgery. If someone were to swallow at least 2 magnets, the magnets could attach to each other and cause fatal intestinal perforation or blockage. Teen Talk Barbie. A talking Barbie named Teen Talk Barbie got in trouble for saying pre-recorded phrases that made it sound like girls were shallow and stupid. The doll would blurt out things like, "Will we ever have enough clothes?" And most infamously, "Math class is tough."
Party dresses are fun. I'll always be here to help you. Do you have a crush on anyone? Math class is tough.
That has drawn fire from those who think Barbie's remark reinforces a stereotype about girls and math.
There's no question that there is a stereotype that exists for young girls, which is that math is hard, I can't do math, or science is hard, I can't do science, or it's not meant for me.
Math class is tough? Mighty discouraging words from a female role model.
Well, in my opinion, it's portraying like a negative image on school.
Like it looks bad to have someone who's like so famous and all this stuff to say math is tough.
Barbie may be talking, but Mattel isn't.
Somebody at Mattel clearly made a mistake in letting that go through, and the mistake was an error in judgment and not being on top of the times.
Fed up with the apparent sexism, a group of feminists called the Barbie Liberation Organization ended up swapping the voice boxes of Teen Talk Barbie with G.I. Joes. The dolls were then put back on store shelves, and when unsuspecting customers brought them back home, young kids were greeted with Barbie saying things like, "Vengeance is mine," while G.I. Joe enthused, "Let's plan our dream wedding."
Hi, I'm Teen Talk Barbie, the spokesdoll for the BLO. That stands for the Barbie Liberation Organization. We're an international group of children's toys that are revolting against the companies that made us. We've turned against our creators because they use us to brainwash kids. They build us in a way that perpetuates gender-based stereotypes. Those stereotypes have a negative effect on children's development. We have set up our own hospitals where we are carrying out corrective surgery on ourselves. Now we say things like this.
Troops, attack that Cobra tank at the command post. No escape for the guilty. Vengeance is mine.
I donated my voice to a G.I. Joe because they want to be free too. They don't want to say all that violent war stuff. Now he says what I used to say.
Want to go shopping? I love school, don't you? It's such a dream. Will we ever have enough clothes?
After we finish our corrective surgery, we climb back into our cartons and are shipped to stores everywhere.
News 8, San Diego's #1 source for news.
7-year-old Zach Zevlin thought this doll was a factory mistake, but it was soon discovered this G.I. Joe was in fact ambushed by the Barbie Liberation Organization.
He's in disguise.
The drama even inspired the plot for a Simpsons episode.
Stacy approaches the podium to deliver what will no doubt be a stirring and memorable address. I wish they taught shopping in school. Let's bake some cookies for the boys. Don't you have anything relevant to say? Don't ask me. I'm just a girl.
Talkin' Barbie. Another Talking Barbie star controversy, this time for dropping the F-bomb. In 2014, a mother from the UK named Talina Evans angrily went back to a store to return Talkin' Barbie since it sounded like it was saying what the f***.
Get your sparkle on, amaze of the hook.
Mattel ended up launching an investigation and concluded that the doll was actually saying "off the hook," which is a catchphrase from a web series called Barbie Life in the Dream House that the doll is based on.
This party's gonna be off the hook! Off the hook!
Hello, Barbie. Mattel will land in hot water again for another talking Barbie, but this time the controversy wasn't what the doll was saying, it's what it was listening to.
What's your middle name?
My middle name is Catherine.
That's a lovely name. Now you're my middle name friend. Let's keep playing and talking together.
In 2015, Hello Barbie was released, and it incorporated Wi-Fi, an AI technology that allowed it to simulate a natural conversation with children. However, a human reviewer could listen to these conversations since the data was stored in a cloud-based server. Mattel said that this was done to improve the doll's speech recognition, but it was reported that the data was shared with third-party vendors. What's more, hackers could potentially steal information from the servers, or trick the doll into connecting to a rogue hotspot, which could enable hackers to make the doll say inappropriate things.
Could Barbie put your family's personal information at risk?
The toy works through Wi-Fi at your home, and if it gets hacked, personal information about your child may be leaked.
And be outraged that by buying Hello Barbie and allowing the doll Wi-Fi access, that they are inviting Mattel to eavesdrop on personal family conversations.
The problem is that it could be spying on our kids, is that right?
When kids are talking to Hello Barbie, they're not only going to be talking to a doll, they're going to be talking to an international corporation whose only interest in the child is financial. So everything that that child says is going to be recorded, sent over Wi-Fi, stored on the cloud, and then analyzed to figure out that child's likes and dislikes.
Concerns have been raised about hackers taking control of the doll.
But Mattel, based in El Segundo, says the data, says it's addressed security concerns and is even enlisting hackers to find security flaws so they can fix them. But you just kind of wonder what they do with all that information, right?
Despite the controversy, Hello Barbie was apparently never pulled off store shelves. Barbie Video Girl. Barbie Video Girl included a camera inside her necklace that could record footage, which could be viewed on a screen in her back. The doll was very popular at the time, but that all changed when the FBI sent a memo to the media stating that the doll could be used to secretly record CP.
She looks harmless enough, right? But according to the FBI, the doll could pose a danger to your child's safety and even lead maybe to child pornography.
There's a new controversial Barbie that the FBI fears could be used to make child pornography.
This doll right here has some parents very concerned that the doll could be used for child pornography, intentionally or not. And today, the FBI got involved with the same concerns of its own.
She's really easy to use. She's got a camera on her chest with a record button and a screen in the back. But what if you set her down?
And then forget you were recording. The video ends up online for everyone to see.
Parents freaked out, vowing to avoid the doll, and calls for a boycott ensued. The FBI quickly clarified that the memo was accidentally sent to the media and was only meant for law enforcement to give them a heads up of the doll's capabilities. An FBI spokeswoman said, quote, "The alert's intent was to ensure that law enforcement agencies were aware that the doll, like any other video-capable equipment, could contain evidence, and to not disregard such an item during a search." Mattel also jumped in, writing, quote, "The FBI is not reporting that anything has happened. There have been no incidents of this doll being used as anything other than its intent." Share a smile, Becky. In an effort to be more inclusive, Mattel ended up creating the first wheelchair-bound Barbie doll called Becky. It was a thoughtful gesture, but a 17-year-old high school student with cerebral palsy realized that Becky could not fit into Barbie's dream house. It turned out that the house was not ADA accessible. Mattel responded, saying that they were looking into the accessibility of all Barbie accessories. However, 10 years later, and Becky still couldn't fit into Barbie's dream house. Eventually, Mattel discontinued the doll, but around 2020, they reintroduced differently abled Barbie dolls in the Barbie Fashionistas collection. Barbie Oreo School Time Fun. In 2001, Mattel and Nabisco partnered together to create an Oreo-branded Barbie doll. There were both white and black dolls, but Mattel didn't realize that the word Oreo is a derogatory term for black people who try to act white. Like an Oreo, they're black on the outside, white on the inside. Public outrage ensued, and Mattel quickly pulled the doll off store shelves after poor sales. The controversy even spilled into the 2002 Maryland gubernatorial debate when Michael Steele, a Republican running for lieutenant governor, claimed that progressive blacks threw Oreo cookies at him as a racial insult. Steele recalled, quote, "They fell on the floor, 2 rolled up next to my shoe. I remember turning to someone and saying, 'Anyone got a glass of milk?'" Computer engineer Barbie. Unlike the previous controversial dolls, the issue here wasn't a doll, but a book. In 2010, a picture book called Barbie, I Can Be a Computer Engineer was published, but it got major flack since Barbie wasn't actually a computer engineer. Instead, she only came up with design ideas for a video game, while her 2 male colleagues Brian and Steven actually did the coding.
"I'm only creating the design ideas," Barbie says, laughing. "I'll need Steven and Brian's help to turn it into a real game."
Not only that, but Barbie accidentally infects computers with viruses and needs Brian and Steven to save the day.
"It will go faster if Brian and I help," says Steven. Barbie's reply, "Great. The boys fix the problem."
The gender issue is not the only problem. Barbie also takes full credit for fixing the problem, never admits that she got any help.
The book getting tons of attention online, shared and liked more than 8,000 times, calling it insulting and dangerous for young minds. Online reviewers agreeing, one writing, "Thank you, Barbie, for showing me that it's A-okay for women to sit back and let men take care of everything."
The negative attention the book received was so big that a website called Feminist Hacker Barbie was created that allows users to rewrite the book's text. Mattel quickly stopped the sale of the book and apologized, writing, quote, "The Barbie I Can Be a Computer Engineer book was published in 2010. Since that time, we have reworked our Barbie books. The portrayal of Barbie in this specific story doesn't reflect the brand's vision for what Barbie stands for. We believe girls should be empowered to understand that anything is possible and believe they live in a world without limits. We apologize that this book didn't reflect that belief. All Barbie titles moving forward will be written to inspire girls' imaginations and portray an empowered Barbie character."
The book's author, who herself worked in technology for years, says she's shocked at the reaction and only made Barbie's friends boys because technology is a male-dominated field.
I was doing that to show that it's a team effort. In no way trying to degrade women by doing that.
Late yesterday, Random House announced the book has been discontinued. We reached out to them.
Some of the other Barbie dolls that stir controversy include Totally Stylin' Tattoos Barbie for having a stamp.
This time she's covered in tattoos. But not everyone thinks Barbie getting inked is appropriate for children.
I think it's too young. I think it's attracting kids that are too young that want to expose parts of their bodies to show off tattoos.
I guess I'm old school now, but that would not fly. I would not buy that for my granddaughters.
Kissing Barbie for including lipstick and potentially causing young girls to want to make out all day. Barbie Wash and Watch Dishwasher for reinforcing the notion that girls should stay in the kitchen and wash dishes. Bird Barbie for being based on Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, in which birds attack people. Sun Gold Malibu Barbie for promoting suntanning, which can cause skin cancer. Tokidoki Barbie for potentially causing kids to want to get tattoos. Rappin' Rockin' Barbie for black cultural appropriation. Cornrow Weave Barbie for having a black hairstyle that many found ratchet.
The is hitting the fan
because of her hairstyle. Because she's got the weave. Kind of a black Barbie with a blonde weave.
Yeah, see if you can pull that picture up. And there is some serious frustration. I mean, the minute this picture was posted, Jay, it was like, oh, no, you didn't. Oh, no, you didn't.
Who in the hell did black Barbie's hair like this? Does any black work there?
Anyone black work there? Why is the Barbie for sale without her weave done?
Sports Illustrated Barbie for sexualizing Barbie in a bikini.
Yes, Barbie is on the cover of the swimsuit issue, a first for this Wisconsin girl. And as you can imagine, there is outrage.
That whole issue of are we sexualizing our little kids' toys?
Well, it's a collaboration, though, that's already sparking controversy. Both the swimsuit issue and Barbie have come under fire for their depictions of women, but the theme of this campaign, unapologetic.
Just what's your first response? How do you feel when you see this?
Online outrage at the toy maker Mattel, who paid for the spread. One woman posting, "There is something super unsettling and creepy about a publication that makes a direct and totally inappropriate correlation between sex and little girls' toys.
A Barbie doll doesn't have a place in really what's a men's magazine, and a men's magazine that's dedicated to sexualizing women.
Oh gosh, I was quite shocked when I saw that Barbie was on the cover of a magazine that essentially, well, basically we know what men do with this magazine.
Girl Scout Barbie for the brand being a bad influence to Girl Scouts. Mexico Barbie for having a passport, which was deemed insensitive due to the hot-button issue of illegal immigration.
Mexico Barbie's debut comes at a time when thousands of immigration reform advocates are lobbying Congress.
But critics say Mexico Barbie reinforces stereotypes during immigration reform.
Decked out in a bright pink ruffled dress, a chihuahua, and a passport?
I mean, in the chihuahua, okay, yes, we're stretching it, you know, but at least the little girl can get it. Barbie's walking the dog, whatever, but I mean, the passport, what are you gonna do with the passport? Just keeping us in that little box, like Mexicans look like this.
Critics are saying, look at the bright pink ribbons and the dress, and that chihuahua really offended people. Is it offensive or is this just colorful?
How do I say this in a word, Aaron? Yes. Yes, it is. A Mexican doll with a chihuahua. I believe the Indian Barbie has a monkey. Really, people? Really? And having a passport, really? Is there like a little like Sheriff Joe Arpaio doll or a Jan Brewer doll asking for her papers? Like, really?
Mattel getting bashed over its quote-unquote Mexican Barbie. Here's a look. Mattel says this Mexico Barbie is fashionably ready for a fiesta in her bright pink dress and her pink ribbons. But then there's this. She comes with a chihuahua and a passport. Offensive? Critics say it reinforces stereotypes, but Mattel says Mexico Barbie is one of 100 dolls, all with regional animals and passports.
Hijab Barbie for supporting a religion that's misogynistic.
زنی بی حجاب در قدم اول خانه اش معلوم گردد و به ولی اش توصیه شود و تنبیه گردد.
Black Canary Barbie for looking trashy. And the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Barbies for not having a doll that looks Asian. And if you know your history and literature, you'll understand why Barbie dolls based on Jude Devereux's The Raider, Marie Antoinette, Elvis and Priscilla Presley, The Little Red Riding Hood, and Romeo and Juliet are kind of weird. Despite all the controversies and missteps, the creator of Barbie has always defended the doll.
I think the main criticism of Barbie is no woman can ever look like Barbie anatomically, that young girls will eventually be dissatisfied with their own bodies.
Many women have a problem with their own bodies as they grow older. I cannot believe that the doll causes that.
In the beginning, Barbie just seemed to be consumed with what she was wearing, just clothes.
Connie, the whole concept of Barbie was that her clothing would permit the child to pretend they were in a certain kind of activity.
The image you were projecting was someone who could play tennis and go to a prom and be a nurse, not a doctor.
I never dreamed of trying to change the world. I wanted to show the world as it is. And at that time, there were no women doctors.
Some women who grew up playing with Barbie dolls even defended the toys, saying that they were just fun and innocuous.
I mean, I'm always puzzled by people who say that, you know, Barbie does this to kids, Barbie does that to kids. Kids do stuff to Barbie. It's a doll. What mother is going to give their kids fat Barbie? I think that sends the wrong message right there. Like, honey, I didn't think you could handle this skinny, good-looking one. Here's the fat one.
Whatever you may think about Barbie, one thing's for certain, she's had a cultural impact on the world.